No room for error, obviously, in a 48-game schedule. Any team could go on one moderate losing streak, and that could be the difference between making the playoffs and not. Is that pretty clear to everyone in this organization, players, coaches, everyone? You guys know that, I mean, there is no such thing as, oh, we lost that one, that's not going to be the end of the world. One loss could be almost the end of the world in some fashion.
We understand, but we can't focus at the end of April. We got to focus on day one and take one game at a time, and make sure that we're going to give everything that we got one game at a time, and we'll see at the end.
There's a name that's on everyone's lips in this city, and it's Alex Galchenyuk. Everyone talks about this young kid. They see great potential, great upside. You've seen him with Sarnia. You've seen him at your training camp. I mean, you're getting a really good, hard look at this kid. Do you have completely free reign with what you're going to do with him, or is the fact that, you know, if he's up for a certain period of time, you can burn the entry year contract? I mean, how does this equation work? I mean, you see him being with you Saturday night against the Maple Leafs?
I'll be able to tell you that Saturday morning.
All right, fair enough.
You know, it's like, honestly, we go day by day.
Yeah.
As soon as Alex came in, and when he reported at the front door, and there were people from the staff, so I said, make sure you text me right away as soon as you get in. So I want to be one of the first guys that is going to sit down here. That was formal. Okay. You know, and he still have his jacket on. I said, you coming here, kid? So and the thing I was telling him is, there's no pressure. Just go out there, have fun. I realize that young kids, all young kids, they play from 5 years old, 6 years old, they dream for that day, that first training camp. They get drafted, but to be part of a training camp, it's special. Sure. Put yourself in their position, and he's a good player. He's a special player. He's got speed, he's got quick hands, he's got great ability with the puck, you know, and he's got a decent size too for 18 years old. And for us, and this is almost the same philosophy that I have with young kids that I coached before. No pressure, you know. It's like, and at the end of the day, we're going to decide what's going to be the best. First of all, for him, you know, we don't want him to waste his time. He's still developing. He's only 18. He's going to develop the next few years, and we got to focus on that. Focus on our team, the Montreal Canadiens. And there's going to be a decision as a group will be taken, and it's going to be the best of an interest for Alex Galchenyuk and the Montreal Canadiens.
You worked with some very special young kids in Pittsburgh, Sid, Jordan Stahl, Evgeny Malkin. I don't want to use their names in the same sentence as Alex Galchenyuk now, but I mean, if you look at raw skills and you look at a kid who is still literally developing, is growing still into his body, Are there some skills that you look and you say, I kind of remember maybe a young Malkin or a young Stahl or a young Sid doing? Are there little things like that you ever see?
It's like, I don't like to compare. I don't think it's fair. Yeah. It's in a situation like that. Honestly, it's go case by case. Right. There's not one guy's the same, and you can't say, look what happened to Stahl. Look what happened to Crosby. Look what happened to Letang, Fleury. It's case by case, you know. But the thing you gotta realize, they need to play. They need to play. It's gonna give us nothing if you decide to keep Alex here and not playing him. Yeah. If we decide to keep the kid, we need to find him some ice time, and we're gonna make sure that first of all, it's gonna help us to be a better team. It's gonna help us and help him to become a better player down the road. And those are decisions that you have to take. I wish I would have exhibition games to evaluate that. Right. We don't have any. It's not. Right. It's the rule from the NHL. That's why we're preparing our day like the tomorrow's days. You know. Yeah. We pretend having an exhibition game, you know. It's like we have
tomorrow's a simulation, basically. Of
simulation,
a game day, right?
Simulation. And at the beginning, when I decided to do that, and the marketing department said, "Well, why don't we bring the fan?" It's a great idea, you know. But at the beginning, it was, you know, we kind of prepare ourselves for an exhibition game. Working out in the morning, it's one thing to work out, have practice during the day, but you know, to prepare yourself for the regular season, you need to practice at night because your game's at night too. You know,
That's right.
so we evaluate everything in our power to make sure we're going to be ready for Saturday.
Right. You had Tomasz Plekanec on the ice for the first time with your team today, and you had him skating with Galchenyuk and with Brian Giunta. Last year, Plecky had 11 line mates, and I think he almost caught a cold from the revolving door of the number of line mates that he had. One of the thoughts has been that if a guy like Plekanec has a couple of consistent, stable wingers to work with, I mean, that some chemistry can be built, similar to what happened with Desharnais and Max and Eric Cole. Is your plan to maybe leave Plecky with those two guys to start, or
well, I can't say that because we haven't taken a decision with Alex yet.
Right.
You know, but stability is important to build the chemistry.
Right.
You know? Hey, last year it was a different year with so many injuries. You know, it's like sometimes you have to take decision. You have no choice. You know, and I'm all for chemistry, and I'm all for stability with chemistry because I know it built chemistry. But at the end of the day, you need result too as well.
Yeah.
You know, so you might see different looks at times because I need the player will learn from me, and I gotta learn from their players too. You know, it's go both sides. You know, and our plan is to they played really well, Plekanec and Giunta in the past. My plan is to keep them together.
Right.
You know, so most of the time you see duos with players, and
Right.
somebody could be added there. With the Desharnais situation, you know, with Pacioretty and Cole, they got such a great chemistry together. You know, and I'll be nuts not to start with them together. You know, it was the chemistry was there. They were producing, they were working hard, and for sure that's going to stay as long as the results are there. You know, at the end of the day, you need results.
That's right. Yeah.
You know, so but my plan, and we'll see what's going to be with on the left side with Plekanec and Giunta.
Okay. Prust, White, and Armstrong. No question you like edge on your teams, and you've spoken about having a little bit of grit. I mean, there's a whole ton of grit with those three guys. Do you like them as a unit? I mean, that is that the kind of trio you can throw out there to people talk about energy lines. I mean, there's a whole lot of energy with those three guys. Is that one of the plans?
For sure. You know, it's like, and one thing for sure this year, with like 5 games in 8 days and 3 and 4 and back to back, you know, it's like it's a different schedule, and more demanding schedule that everybody saw in the past. Try to balance 4 lines and try to having depth in on your team. It's going to be crucial, you know. So and those guys are capable to play, and I think we need. I've always believed that you need contribution from everyone. I've always been a big fan of that, and I put not pressure, but there is guys on the third line. They got to produce. They got to chip in. You know, that's the way I see. If you want to be a good hockey team, they got to chip in.
Right.
You know, you just can't bang and do what they have to do. And the hockey player wants to chip in too. You know,
Sure.
they want to score, and I want them to give us not only a physical present, but I want them to make sure they're gonna chip in to get success offensively.